Welcome to cricket8.com. Jarrod Kimber here, Rob Barron with him as well. We're going to talk about RCB easily beating Punjab. They're one all in their derby, or their two games, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they're one all so far. Let's start with this. I think it's fair to say, Rob, that for everything, RCB have assembled a very good defensive bowling lineup, and they bowled very well defensively.
No arguments here. I think the difference between them being able to do that normally and today was that Suyash did a really good one, and him getting those couple of poles for a run of ball in his spell was the difference between their normal, because they probably know if his first over goes, they have to bowl Romario for 2 overs at the death to set guys, and he gets absolutely slaughtered and the match changes. But 160, they didn't even get 160, but 160 never felt like it was going to be enough, and it never looked like it was going to be enough. So I have almost forgotten about that game already, and it finished 5 minutes ago. I definitely will have forgotten about it tomorrow. Kohli got a red inker and they chased. But yes, good defensive bowling. I do think that Shashank's innings is the big mystery. If there's ever such a thing as a match-losing innings, to come in when he did and hit 1-4 in 33 balls and end up with a strike rate of 93, when they ended up batting for 7 overs. You know, those they had 4 wickets in hand for 7 overs. Jansen got a couple away right at the end, a couple of sixes. But what are they doing? Like Punjab, with 2 people who are not out, are on 56 or 53 between them. Like, what the hell is that? And that's where they lost the game. They were never going to defend it. They never looked like defending it for 1 minute.
Well, I mean, you think about Punjab in that game, and you think to yourself, well, if they had made 157, and we knew that beforehand, we all would have thought that they were bowled out. Yeah. And they weren't bowled out. And in fact, they had plenty of wickets in hand. You know, I know they only had Xavier Bartlett, but they could have used their impact sub. Like, they had plenty of opportunities to push harder and then bring an impact sub in and change things up. And they just didn't. They decided that this was their best option, and it was absolute pants, and it was not their best option.
Totally agree. Yeah. It was like they'd forgotten who they are. I think Iyer is a big concern for them, who started the tournament like an absolute train. You can't get him out. He's scoring great, and he seems to have totally changed his demeanour. And so if he goes at number 3, and 6 off 10 is the worst case for him, if he goes at number 3, then the rest of them are like, now what do we do? It messes. So I think he needs to go back to being the anchor, and the rest of them have full license. Inglis can do what he did today. Unfortunately, got out just at the point where he was changing everything. But yeah, they had a stupid run out in there. But I think the intent thing, they totally lost themselves, Punjab, and they're better, Punjab, when they are uncomplicated. Iyer behaves, everyone else absolutely hoofs it, and then see how many they can score. Because that version of them, they were only lost 1 in the power play, didn't they? 60 odd for 1 after the power play.
Yeah.
How the hell are they 157 for 6? They got 100 runs in. They didn't even get 100 in 14 overs.
It was one of the worst efforts from then. And I think we thought there was going to be a natural regression, and we sort of said that, and, you know, we won one of your bets on it as well. But when it came down to it, we were like, there's a difference between that and what they've ended up on. They were 42 without loss after 4.2 overs. And they've ended up on 157 without being bowled out. Like, it was absolutely very, very random and poor all the way through. Krunal and Suyanch, I just want to talk about them. I think Suyanch, I've talked about it before. His action means to me he's never going to be consistent. But I think his best ball is so good. And this pitch definitely helped both of their spinners, didn't it? They really did get the squeeze on. And because Krunal is so clever and can bowl his defensive stuff, if you can get some wickets out of your leggy as well, or in this case, Krunal got some wickets, it really does help them, because they're not a team where you're just like, oh, they're going to bring this bowler on now outside of Hazelwood and have any chance of getting wickets.
Yeah, so Krunal being good, so Krunal's good often in terms of keeping the runs down, but he doesn't often get the wickets as well. But when he gets the wickets as well, it gives Suyash license to fully attack, which is what we saw today. And he attacked brilliantly, and he also got to bowl at early Stoinis, which creates, I mean, if there's anything to remember from that game, it was the nut that got Stoinis, who didn't get the googly and looked really dumb and got cleaned up leg stump. That's funny. It's good dismissal. I will probably remember that one. But but the nature of that team, like you said, them being a defensive team, when you've got the wild card in there and you're allowed 6 bowlers now, like no problem, you can have 6 bowlers, you've got a sub and everything. To have somebody like Suyash is like a luxury guy in your team because he can't bat and he doesn't do anything in the field. But if you've got one of those leggies that can be good sometimes, like I agree with you, he can never possibly be the finished article with the way he is, but he can get you great wickets at big times. So he's a guy that you're allowed a luxury in your team now because you're allowed 12 players, Jarrod. So you might as well have someone like him.
And if you're going to do it, you take the guess with the wicket takings, right?
Yeah, and to be able to bring him in, like I say, when Krunal gets a wicket, to bowl him at new bats where you're like, well, I'm not sure where he's going to land it. If he comes into the attack where Stoinis is 30 off 24, very different outcome probably. Like he might get absolutely blown out of the game. But if he comes on when Krunal's just got a wicket at the other end and they don't know whether to behave themselves, to stick or twist, that's when he's lethal. So I thought they used him very well tactically and he was great. And Punjab were awful today. Punjab beat this team 2 days ago.
So I just want to talk about Punjab just a little bit there. So the points table at the moment, you're about 3 and 3, aren't you? Sorry, 3 and 3. What am I saying? These 2 teams went 1 and 1 against each other, and they're 3rd and 4th in the points.
Yeah, they've won 5 and lost 3, both of them. Yeah.
I don't think there's much to. I don't think either of these teams are better than the 2 teams on top of them. But I don't think there's an obvious great team. Gujarat have been up and down. I love their top order, but there are parts about their cricket I don't like. Delhi, I think, have been flattered to have a 5-2 record as well. I think I would say the top 4 teams all look like 5 and 3 teams to me. And there's no real, and Lucknow's probably the one that is 5 and 3 that I'm not sure should be. I still think Kolkata and Mumbai can make a run for it. It's very possible that one of RCB and Punjab are not in the playoffs. But I throw it further. It's very possible that both of them are not in the playoffs. Like that is still on the board because RCB haven't won a game at home yet. And Punjab, I think we both think they have been better than they have been in any other season. Neither of us are willing to say that this is a fully fledged human cricket side yet.
No, I'm worried about Punjab because they've gone from the start of the season. I thought actually they've signed well, they've auctioned well, they've thought about filling gaps, they've got overseas cover. There's, Maxwell disappeared and Stoinis there. Like, all right, Stoinis hasn't done anything, but that's good cover, isn't it? They have Inglis has been you're able to bring in Inglis halfway through the season. Really good, like really good overseas bat to have in. It's not quite click yet, but they started off showing semblance of intelligence, which has fooled me a bit. Then they actually batted quite sensibly. And they put Iyer at the top. I thought Inglis would be at the top. They put Iyer at the top and he scored a blazing 100, 6 first ball, looked amazing. But then he's regressed a bit and perhaps but the thing for me is Iyer and what he has done, going from anchor yet taking the spin down and being 80 not out at the end to coming in and trying to smash Jofra all over the place in the first over when he's bowling serious heat. Since then he hasn't scored a run. So that's concerning for them. Net run rate wise, Gujarat and Delhi are in good shape here, and Bengaluru are next because they had a nice easy win there. That was an absolute stroll. So Punjab are under it, but I agree with you. There's no standout good team this year. Anyone can win this IPL. I think there's more bad than good. I mean, Sunrisers could click suddenly and start smashing teams. They're going to have to do it soon if they're going to get in the playoffs. They've only got 4 points, but there is a bit of a gap now between the top 5 and the others. Game we're about to do, Mumbai Chennai. Chennai lose this, how do they get to the playoffs? Because the net run rate will take an even further.
But we can't talk about this because this is a podcast that will be stitched in with the other one, and so now you've ruined the end of this one. But I want to ask you one final question before you answer this, and the final question is as simple as this: which team is more likely to make the playoffs for you?
RCB.
Yeah, I think I agree. I really like Punjab. As I said, we're both very high on Punjab and have been from before the start of the season. But I don't think either of us are fully committed. Whereas RCB, I can I still see the holes within their side, but I still think he's done very well. All right, we're going to take a break. Well, sorry, this is the end of this show. Quick 10-minute hitter on that game. We'll be back on the live stream in about 11 minutes' time to talk more cricket over there. But this is the end of this podcast here on Cricket 8 with Jarrod Kimber and Rob Barron. Remember to support us by subscribing and sharing, but also signing up at cricket8.com, where live scorecards cover 8,000 matches a year with advanced visual details that tell you who is actually in front in the game.